Hey Karen, did you know that
Hey, Kevin.
not everybody in the Hispanic and African American communities know how to use a computer?
What? Hello, this is Karen.
And this is Kevin.
And this is Right From Us.
Yeah, that's what Biden said he had this town hall. Was it last week? That was on February 17th or 16th. So about a week
Feels
ago.
like ages ago.
I know. He said they were talking about registering to get the vaccine, the COVID-19 vaccine. And he said, Biden said, a lot of people don't know how to register. Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and African American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant or inner city districts, know how to use or know how to get online to determine how to get in line for COVID vaccination at Walgreens or at the particular store.
Oh, you forgot the next sentence.
Yeah.
I've committed to spend $1 billion on public education to help people figure out how they can get in there.
$1 billion?
Oh my gosh. That's so insulting to people. I saw there was quite the outrage on Twitter, and I saw an African American man post a video, and he was acting like a monkey, jumping around and scratching his head. He had a laptop on the floor, and it was closed, and he's picking it up, and he's looking at it like, what is this thing, obviously just responding to this insulting article. I just cannot believe that the man gets away with that. He's so racist. He doesn't even know he's racist.
I know. It's just like natural to him.
It's so crazy.
Why wasn't there? Why didn't?
Where's the outrage?
Well, Anderson Cooper. Why didn't Anderson Cooper say something right then?
That's just so insulting to people.
Black people do know how to use a computer. There's a lot of smart black people.
I mean, duh. Yeah. Speaking of Biden, Biden dementia worst kept secret in White House, says Dan Bongino. Let's see here.
Yeah, did you see he went to Houston? I think it was yesterday or the day before, or actually shortly after the big power problem in Texas. He went to Houston.
No, it wasn't shortly after. Biden's just now getting down there, isn't he?
Okay, well, a few days ago.
That's what people were saying. It's like, okay, well, now we have our power and water back, and now Biden's going down there. It's like, wow,
yeah. Well,
delayed
anyway,
reaction.
In the last week or so, he went down there, and he was just like bumbling.
Well, side note, why? Why do politicians, senators, presidents feel compelled to go to these areas that are...
I know, it's like they really don't.
What are they going to do? They walk around, do some photo ops.
I know, really, they don't need the distraction.
I feel so bad for you people. Click, 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 click.
Yeah.
And then they leave. I mean, what good is it? It doesn't help anybody.
And really, they don't need the distraction. They don't need the police officers and
the extra security and all the extra media. And it's like, can you just
leave us alone? We'll get over it.
Let these people get back to normal. You're in their way. But that article says the effort by Democratic Congress members to remove the president's sole authority to launch a nuclear attack is turning heads. The premise, according to a letter by 31 Democrats, surprising, is that the president should be required to seek advice on such a serious decision. And then the lawmakers say there's the conduct of past presidents, referring to Donald Trump, who have threatened to attack other countries with nuclear weapons or exhibited other officials to express concern about the president's judgment. So basically, they're saying that Biden's mental or lack thereof clarity is basically raising the question. And honestly, I kind of agree with this. Why is it shouldn't be the president's sole decision, right? I mean, shouldn't it be a collaborative effort like between generals and...
Well, I mean, he's commander-in-chief.
Yeah, but he doesn't really know what's going on. Like these generals and stuff in the army. That's a pretty big, serious decision, especially for a man who has diminished mental clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think they're already trying to get rid of him. They're just putting the moves in to make it easier to get Kamala in there, don't you think?
Well, it says citing sources in his network, which includes people outside of law enforcement, Bongino said Thursday it's an open secret in the White House that Biden is suffering from dementia. It gives me absolutely no joy in saying this, and I mean that. He is in real significant trouble, Joe Biden said Bongino in an interview with Fox News' Sean Hannity. You know, we joke about all this stuff, but honestly, I do feel sorry for the man. I really do. You know, people with dementia, I mean, it's like a whole new world sometimes every hour.
During the campaign, it was almost like elder abuse. The way
I agree.
he was bumbling and mumbling
Yes.
and losing his place.
Yes,
And of course, the news
was
media
not
just
right.
basically just covered that up. Just covered for him.
So I guess what is the ultimate plan here? I mean, the Democrats are not stupid by any means. They're sneaky and they're sometimes liars and cheats, but they're not stupid. So is the ultimate goal to basically get Biden out of there so Kamala does become president?
Yeah, so they can further their leftist agenda. She's like a communist, basically.
But that's the thing. I think that I don't know that we're ready for her level of progressive.
Exactly, and that's she ran for president, and nobody's going to vote for something like that. But the way they got her in, they're going to get her in there just basically through the back door.
And because they have a majority, then they can pass all these progressive
exactly
agendas. That's some scary stuff
she
there.
She could have never won the election.
Not by herself, for sure.
Because she's too left wing. But now they're just going to sneak her in there, get rid of Biden within the year. Don't you think?
I mean, think about this, though. I mean, he's already declining, and we're only 2 months into this.
Yeah, he was declining the last year. Even in the debates, the Democratic debates, debates, he was just like,
come on, man. I
was
really
just
do feel
really out
sorry
of it.
for him, though. I really do. I never want to see anybody have to go through that. I mean, the poor man looks like he's lost half the time, and that's got to be scary, honestly.
There was actually a short period after the election that he seemed fine. He seemed kind of articulate.
Yeah, but
now he's right back to his bumbling self.
Isn't that how dementia works, though?
I don't
Like
know.
you have moments of clarity or times of
sure.
clarity, and then you kind of go back into the fog. I mean,
I'm not sure.
I don't know, but I genuinely feel sorry for him. And speaking of, side note, who would you like to see run in 2024 on the Republican side?
President Trump.
Nope, I disagree. I so disagree with that. I think we've had enough Trump. We need to get some other strong Republicans in there. And here's Matt Walsh's. I like to watch him and follow his tweets. He is so funny. He likes to get people riled up with his sarcasm. And they always fall for it. Just cracks me up. But anyway, he thinks it should be DeSantis and Rand Paul.
Yeah, and also, what's the governor's name up there in the governor from South Dakota?
Oh, yeah. I
Kristi
love her.
Noem. Kristi
Yeah,
Noem.
she's awesome.
Yeah, it should be DeSantis and Kristi Noem.
There you go. I like that better,
I mean,
actually.
that would work.
That would work.
That would
That'd be
work.
awesome, actually. See, don't you think that'd make a better combination?
DeSantis actually, he actually is really great.
Yes.
He is fantastic.
DeSantis has really been proving himself. I really hope he runs. I think he'd have a good chance. And I think it'd be a better option than Trump. I really do. I think Trump would do more good, like behind the scenes, or with his money and his resources.
Yeah.
I think he could really
Yeah.
push a lot of.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I think President Trump is a little bit tainted right now because of the January 6th thing.
He's just too rough around the edges. We need someone. I hate to say we need someone more political, more like a politician, but not like a politician. Does that make sense? Like someone who's more diplomatic and in what they say and how they say it. And I think DeSantis would be awesome. I really like him.
I'd go
and
along
you know
with that.
what? I've been really impressed with Josh Hawley lately. Did you see his speech he gave at the CPAC?
Yeah, Josh Hawley should be president. He someday. He's kind of young. How old is he?
He is kind of young.
He's in
I
his
don't know.
40s, isn't he?
Yeah, he can't be very old.
So maybe he could be the vice president.
But I am proud
Candidate.
to say that he's our one of
I
our
know.
senators.
Have you seen the signs around here saying no more Holly, no Mo Holly?
Why?
They're against Holly.
Why?
They're trying to get him out of office
Why?
because
Because he has the guts to stand up
Yeah.
and say what's right?
yeah, basically they're blaming him for partially for what happened on January 6th.
Oh, that's
of
bull
course.
crap.
Yeah.
That's such bull crap.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So, I mean, I
Well.
actually saw some signs around town today saying no Mo Holly.
Well, that's just stupid. I think Holly's been doing a fantastic
Yeah, the rest
job.
of us are proud of him.
I'm very proud of him. He's not backing down, and he's very articulate, and he's got good points, and I think he's great. I haven't been proud of a Missouri senator in a long time. Speaking of the whole January 6th debacle, there's another article on Gateway Pundit. Pelosi's fault. Speaker Pelosi told Sergeant-at-Arms to deny National Guard at Capitol due to optics. Left building unprotected, then lied about it.
Yeah, that was the thing in the impeachment, the fake impeachment thing that happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
At the very last day, they were almost going to call witnesses, and the Republicans said, "Oh yeah, sure, we'll call Nancy Pelosi as our first witness to see what she knows."
And then all of a sudden they're like,
"Oh no, we're not going to do that."
You don't hear anything more about it.
Yeah, because they actually said that's going to be our first witness is Nancy Pelosi, and then that's when the Democrats just dropped witnesses.
Yeah, as reported back in mid-January, Speaker Nancy Pelosi and GOP leader Mitch McConnell refused National Guard support before the announced protest on January 6th. This was well documented and explains why Democrats closed their bogus impeachment case against President Trump rather than allow the light of truth to shine down on the American public who would learn that it was Nancy Pelosi who failed to secure the U.S. Capitol in January.
Yeah, the reporting on this January 6th thing has really just been terrible. You know, I've seen some reports that there were 5 murders on January 6th.
I would argue that's not even reporting.
There was not 5 murders. There was one.
I remember they played
one protester shot, and everybody else died of natural causes or
weren't they playing like a
emergencies.
soundbite where like they were all like, it's reportedly been reported, it's been reportedly said this, whatever.
Yeah,
It's like nothing's been factual. It's all just they're all basing their facts on reports.
That was one thing in the impeachment. At the closing arguments, those attorneys that President Trump had, they were pretty good.
They were great.
Yeah,
they were great.
They weren't. They didn't have as much flashy stuff as the Democrats did, but they did bring out some really great points.
See, and that's a good point that you bring up. That's the Democrats' case always. It's always just flash and fluff and anything to distract from the actual problem or the actual
and then they
argument.
And then they got caught fiddling around with the evidence and
well, the truth will always come out sooner or later.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, these Democrats, they know how to manipulate.
They're sneaky.
They are very sneaky, for sure, and they're just really good at it. Let's see, what else can we talk about this week that happened?
Well, Governor DeSantis, there's one thing he did that I disagreed with. He ordered all the flags to be lowered at half staff for the death of Rush Limbaugh. So,
I knew as soon as I heard that was a mistake.
Yeah. That should be reserved for just like presidents and...
Well, I understand and appreciate this the sentiment, but that's just like when they lowered the flags half-mast when Whitney Houston died.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Why? That's stupid. That's not what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you there. It was kind of probably a bad call on that.
Some of the Democrat leaders in Florida just flatly refused, which
Which,
oh, well.
I mean, I get it. I do. I get
Yeah.
it. I kind of agree that that's not the purpose.
Yeah.
Even though I understand the sentiment, that wasn't the
Right.
purpose of
Right.
lowering the flags at half-mast. Let's see. Do you miss Rush?
Yeah, I listened to Rush probably since about 1992, at least a couple times a week, a few hours a week, for what is that, 30 years?
Man.
So it's almost like losing a good friend or something in some ways.
Aw.
So.
Were you pretty sad when you
Yeah.
you knew it was going to happen, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody was prepared for it, but.
Yeah.
And especially the last time that he was on, he was really having trouble hearing. Like the caller would say something, then he would basically say the same thing, and then his call screeners would say, "She just said that,"
Oh.
So, and that was the last time he was on. So it's kind of sad.
What is going on with his show right now?
They're playing like
Best
clips,
of.
yeah, best of clips, and just
Did his wife take over the
no. She was
broadcaster?
she was on one day for a couple hours, just answering questions and things
Oh, okay,
like that.
yeah.
So
You think they're going to have anybody take over his show, or are they just going to retire it? What do you think they should do?
they keep saying that they're not going anywhere, but I think they're going to have to do something besides what they're doing because
Yeah.
people would tune into that show to find out what's going on,
Yeah.
and find out what what the current events are. So I don't think playing past clips is going to
Well, it's
go over
probably
very well, very
their
long.
way of just kind of stalling maybe until they come up
yeah.
with a plan.
Yeah, maybe for a few weeks or
Yeah.
a couple months, maybe. But then after that, they're going to have to get a live host in there, talk about the issues that are going on every day. Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Something else, another headline that caught my attention, which is pretty dang scary. On the WND website, it says attempt to poison water supply deemed wake up call to digital defenses.
I was looking at that.
That is some scary crap.
Did they ever, at the time I was looking at that they didn't know if it was an actual hack or what had happened. Does this thing say what?
Yes. Let's see. This is dated yesterday at 8:00 last night. It says, a recent story from Florida should direct policymakers' attention to a glaring strategic problem in American defense. In the city of Oldsmar, a small community in the Tampa metro area, an unknown hacker gained access to the chemical controls of the municipal water treatment system. Fortunately, an operator at the facility observed the breach in real time, watching as the intruder set the level of sodium hydroxide, commonly known as hydroxide, commonly known as lye, to 100 times its normal level.
And that's the ingredient in Drano.
Oh my gosh.
So basically people would be drinking Drano.
Oh my gosh. The operator was able to immediately undo the damage so no one was harmed. But what if that instant detection hadn't happened? As of this writing, nothing is known about the source of the attack, and it wasn't just, we're putting a little bit of chlorine or a little bit of fluoride or a little bit of something. We're basically talking about lye that you are taking from 100 parts per million to 11,100. That is scary. Man. And you know what? I just hope that little things like this wake people up to the problems that we have, like our defense holes. I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm saying? Just our weaknesses, I guess.
There are a lot of weaknesses. Cybersecurity is probably one of the top issues.
I mean, think about that for a second. We all rely solely on the internet and cell phones and
the grid,
the
electrical grid.
I mean, that
just
stuff
like what
could go
happened in
down.
Texas last week.
We would be in serious trouble.
Yeah.
But this gives me goosebumps to think of that. That could have that is, what kind of evil? That's evil. Someone has to be possessed to even go in there and do something like that. This is beyond like a joke
that's
or a
how
prank.
an enemy could get in there and put some bacteria or some chemicals. I've never even thought about the chemical mixture.
Right? That's another reason why you probably shouldn't drink, water.
Yeah, drink the
city
tap water.
Yeah, because you just don't know what's in it.
Isn't that funny? Back when we were kids, we'd just take the garden hose and just drink it down.
I remember, and Mom, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
It's almost like now it's like poison.
Yeah. I remember Mom always saying, it's fine. Tap water's good for you. It has fluoride in it. Blah, blah, blah. It's fine. What are you talking about? It's fine to drink it. I mean, she said this, probably, 15, 20 years ago. And I think since then she's kind of changed her tune. Like, that's probably not the best idea.
I drink tap water every once in a while.
I don't. I drink nothing but filtered water. Like either the filtered water out of our fridge.
Well, how do you know that filter's going to catch everything, though?
Well, I guess you don't. Well, how do you know that our distilled water is really distilled water?
I don't know. You're trusting them.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you're trusting that chair right there that you're sitting on.
That's true.
That they made it right.
True. That's true. But anyway, that story just really gave me goosebumps when I saw that one.
Yeah, what about fluoride in your water? I mean, a lot of people are really against that, and you're drinking something that they say is going to help your teeth.
I don't know.
Does that make sense? I know a lot of people are against that. I've really never never researched that, but
Well, that goes back to, like, do we really know what's in anything? Not just our water, but
You really
all of our
trust-
perfumes and our deodorants
Yeah.
and the phthalates and the parabens and whatever they are.
yeah,
in
like
there.
you were talking about last week on your podcast, which is
Yeah.
right from Karen, Karen
.com,
podcast.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
There's
WRATE,
all
by the
these
way.
chemicals that are in the food these days that are causing people's
Yeah.
gender to get confused.
Yes, gender bender chemicals are what they're called, and they're phthalates and well, I think it's primarily phthalates, but basically what it is it's estrogen, and the theory is that over the years we've had so many products like the plastic smell in a shower liner that is phthalates. It's apparently it's some kind of chemical that makes plastic like supple and like fragrances will stick around. Be that you can smell them. There's just all kinds of things that it's in, and the theory is that men have been so saturated with this chemical that it's demasculized. I don't know what I'm trying to say. It just makes them less masculine as men. They're like men. To look at men nowadays, they're more feminine. They're more feminine acting. They're more emotional. They just don't act like a man, like say from World War II era.
Yeah, for sure. Have you seen those memes where they're comparing like a picture of 18-year-olds from 1945?
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
In the war, and then it's like now they're like
But yeah,
kind of sissy-looking guys.
Well, and also there's a serious study. I mean, this is all serious stuff, but there's a study also about men's fertility, like the number, like that the men are not as fertile as they used to be because this chemical that's in everything, practically everything that we use, has built up so much in men that they're not as fertile as they used to be.
Well, not to mention that. I mean, that those chemicals are in everything, like hand lotions and
They're in everything. Like everything.
Sunblock. Why are
Everything.
they so focused on making you use sunblock?
I know. Well,
It's
you
like
have to wonder.
You need the vitamin D.
Yes.
A little sun's good for you, but I mean, all the chemicals and hormones and things in your meats and things
Yes.
like that. There is definitely something going on. I mean,
Yes,
sometimes
definitely.
you're driving when we're driving around. It's like, is that a guy or a girl? It's like I find myself saying that all the time.
And that's another thing they were saying, that may be one of the reasons why they're so like some people are born, what's that word, androgynous.
Yeah.
When you can't really tell if they're a male or female, because when you're pregnant and you have too much of, you're absorbing too much of those phthalates, then it can affect the formation of your baby, so that like his testes are smaller and all that kind of stuff, and they're just less male. And then the opposite for females is that too much estrogen can make females too aggressive and that kind of thing too. So you kind of have to wonder if that's not a large reason, or at least part of the reason, why so many people are confused nowadays about their gender. Men want to be women, women want to be men. I mean, you just kind of have to wonder if there's some kind of chemical imbalance like that's been happening. I mean, it's been out there for years.
There is definitely something going on. There's this thing that's kind of like a don't you think it's like a fad? People wanted to be transgender because
I
it's
think
like
part of it is a fad.
It's a really
yes.
small percentage of people that are trans. It's like 0.5%.
I really feel sorry because I watched some YouTube videos on this, but I really feel sorry for these people that truly thought, like a woman thought she was a man, and they actually go through the surgeries, have their breasts removed and all that kind of stuff, and then they figure, I've made a huge mistake. What have I done?
Well, there was this hearing this week. I'm not sure what position he is being confirmed for, but that Rachel Levine.
He's being confirmed for that HHS.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Well, anyway, Rand Paul was asking him, are you okay with basically children having their, private parts
Well, he called
amputated?
it mutilation. He called it genital mutilation.
And that Rachel, what was
Levine.
What was his real
Levine.
name?
I don't know.
Whatever.
whatever.
He never would answer the question.
Yeah, as the confirmation hearing got underway on Thursday, Levine faced aggressive questioning from some of the Republican members of the Senate. Rand Paul, senator from Kentucky, compared transgender surgery to genital mutilation and accused Levine of supporting surgical destruction of a minor's genitalia. And the internet went crazy because he called it genital mutilation. And guess what? That's what it is.
He actually said genital mutilation.
He said genital mutilation. And Levine's response was...
it was like a canned response twice.
Levine responded by saying that transgender medicine was very complex. If I'm fortunate enough to be confirmed, I will look forward to working with you in your office on the standards of care. In other words, it was a canned response. It wasn't in any way an answer to his questions. And so Rand Paul, he kept going, kept asking all these questions. So finally he said, let the record show that he will not answer the questions.
Oh, he said he?
No, I think he said she. He said, let it go into the record that the witness refuses to answer a question. Smart. The question is a very specific one. Should minors be making these decisions? Something about these, are willing to let a minor take things to prevent their puberty. And you think they get back? You have permanently changed them. There's no long-term studies. We don't know what happens to them. We should be outraged that somebody is talking to a 3-year-old about changing their sex.
Yeah, if somebody...
Is that not insane?
Somebody that's 18 or 21 wants to do it.
Sure, go for it. You're of legal age.
I still think that's kind of young, but still...
It is.
Someone in their teens or, like a
but
teenager...
elementary school children? Kevin, that's child abuse.
That's
I don't
sick.
care who
That
you
is
are.
pretty sick.
That's child abuse.
That's pretty sick.
To talk your daughter into wanting to be a boy and then going so far as to give them hormone therapy
and surgery,
replacement therapy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
There's something
that's too
wrong
young.
with that.
Those kids don't know what they're doing. They don't know what right and wrong is. They just no. That's just a hard no. So the fact that Levine wouldn't answer the question just lets you know that.
She looks like John Goodman or something. She looks like John Goodman with a wig on.
Yeah.
That is just.
Well, it's just messed up, and I feel kind of sorry for people that are genuinely confused like that because it's a mental illness.
Yeah.
And that's really nothing to laugh at or anything, but
mental and spiritual.
Yeah, for sure.
And then also all these chemicals.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think that has to be playing a pretty significant role in some of this confusion nowadays because it seems like it's more prevalent now. Going back to what you said, I think it's popular, and I think they're getting a lot of attention right now. So it's a little bit of a fad.
Yeah,
honestly, I really do. It's popular. It's the end thing. But yeah, you have to. It's messed up no matter how you look at it.
Speaking of kids, did you see the kids in cages? The kids in the band in cages.
Okay.
Is
you
that
have
true?
to put this picture.
I'll put that picture up.
Put the picture up.
It's a picture of some kids in band practice in these little, like each kid is in a tent.
I want to know if it's true. That it cannot be true.
I've seen this all over the place.
They are individual tents.
You can see the picture will be on the screen.
One student can sit in with their music stand and their music and playing an instrument, and they're all these individual little tents are sitting up around the room, and that's band practice. That can't be true. If that's true, then there's something is seriously wrong with people. Honestly, that's disturbing no matter how you look at it. Also, speaking of stupidity, and I apologize if any of you are out there doing this, but I'm sorry. Y'all are not thinking, okay? If you're in your car by yourself and you have a mask on, why? I just want to know why.
Well, President, I'm not going to say that, Biden said that he's going to encourage mask usage for the first 100 days of his administration. So maybe that's what they're thinking. They're following Biden's mandate.
I don't
Speaking
know.
of mandates,
I just
Joplin,
don't understand.
Speaking of mandates, a city near where we live their mask mandate is expiring tomorrow.
You think they're going to actually let it expire?
Yeah, I think so.
I really hope so, because I feel like this is the start of a snowball effect or a domino effect. I feel like someone's got to blink first before we stop this crazy mask mandate.
Yeah, if you look at the numbers in our town, it's like, why are we doing anything? It's just like the hospitals are not even close to being overwhelmed.
And we know this for a fact because I work at a hospital as a medical assistant,
And we see the numbers.
And they every day in our
it's in the news
in
too.
our hospital letter, it comes that they have the number of COVID patients in our hospital.
It's in the news,
and I
too.
think we're down to 20 now, which is great news. That's fantastic. But the numbers have been down for a while. So why are we still wearing masks?
Yeah, and you notice they started going down on January 20th.
Right, as soon as he got inaugurated. Which, by the way, speaking of that, side note, why isn't he making a State of the Union address? Do they not do that when they're first? I guess they do that the first year. Oh, wait.
It's not the State of the Union. It's called something, the State of something. It's not called the State of the Union. But he's supposed to have it in the next few weeks.
When do they normally have it? I feel like it's late, but maybe I don't know.
I think isn't it usually in January? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
But there's also conspiracy theories that something big is going to happen on the night of that. So keep your...
So stay tuned.
Yeah, watch out for that.
Oh, good. Something else to talk about.
and that's why the National Guard's still in Washington, D.C.
Yeah. What is up with that? So you think that's what it is? They're anticipating something big news, and
conspiracy theory is saying that yes, there's going to be something happening.
Well, you have to wonder because what other reason?
It's called something else the first
would
time.
you have all the fences still up and the National Guard still there, and it's
I know, especially since it's such a president that's so loved by all the.
And he was
people.
clearly elected by the majority of people. So why do we? Why do we have to take those precautions?
Why do we have to look like a dictatorship?
Right. That's the magic question.
We're getting up there on time.
Let's see. Was there anything else we were going to talk about on our list other than the COVID? Of course, speaking of COVID and masking, the whole vaccinated thing, they're calling for vaccinated Israelis to enjoy bars and hotels, but only with a green pass. So if you don't have proper documentation, you can't go to any bars or hotels. And now in the U.S., they're thinking that potentially could happen if you travel. Or
the global airline industry is calling for a travel pass that shows your status of your vaccination and whether or not you've had a current COVID test. I'm not getting that.
So I guess we're not going to fly anymore, huh?
If that goes into effect, we will not be flying anymore. I'm not getting tested.
No, I don't want to be tested, but
I'm not getting the vaccine.
Okay,
and I'm not getting the.
Let me ask you this, though.
Travel pass or the whatever Bill Gates is talking about, the what's he keep calling it, the.
I don't know. Bill Gates is right up there with Fauci for me. I just wish both of those guys would just shut up.
He really needs to just
shut up. Just be quiet. Just because you have a lot of money.
The vaccine passport is what he's calling it.
Okay, so I agree with you. I don't want to. I'm not going to show my papers, and I guess we won't be flying anymore. We'll have alternate ways to. I guess we'll be driving everywhere, but once the experimental vaccine is no longer experimental, they've done the drug. They've done all the testing and all that stuff. The normal hoops they have to jump through, and they've determined that it is safe. It is effective. Will you get it?
No, because the death rate for at least my age group is like It's like 0.0.
You going to put that graph up?
Yeah.
He's got a graph that shows the percentage based on age group of like the recovery rate or something like that. So he'll put that up on there so you guys can see it.
Yeah, for our age group, it's a 0.5% death rate. So why would you get a vaccine?
Means, like, if you get COVID, that's what he's talking about. Like, if you get COVID.
That's basically if you get it and it's not treated. So it's a 0.5%.
Well, even if you get it and you're not treated, you're still, the odds of you recovering are fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually,
So if you're treated, it's even better than that. That's what I'm saying.
That's true. So glad you brought that up. Okay, so let's just say, so instead of these passes, and they're forcing people to take this drug that we don't know what's in it, and we don't even know if it's effective, and why should we get it? Why instead can't they just say, okay, if you're going to fly, we need you to take some hydroxychloroquine or some medication that they know, like in the early stages of COVID, it's been proven very effective at, combating it. Why don't they do something like that as opposed to making us take a vaccine? Because
President
it's six
Trump,
one way, half a
because
dozen the other.
President Trump liked those drugs. So,
well, I guess really it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other. You're still having to take something.
yeah,
Right?
I would be more inclined to do that.
I would be more inclined to do that.
But
Especially
back
the hydroxychloroquine.
Back to your question is, no, I wouldn't get a vaccine for something that only has a 0.5% death rate.
Yeah.
The death rate for the vaccine is probably going to be, you can't say this though, is probably going to be higher than the death rate for the disease. Don't you think? It's going to.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
Because there's this thing.
Because that's scary, because a lot of people have already gotten it.
There's this thing where people were questioning why every death was considered a COVID death, a virus death. Okay, if you just happen to have a positive COVID test and you died, it's from COVID. But people that have died like 2 weeks or whatever after they've had the vaccine, oh no, that can't be related to the vaccine. It's like, isn't that inconsistent?
I feel like this whole pandemic's been nothing but inconsistent.
I mean, just starting with
It's
everything.
just the blind leading the blind.
Just everything out of the mouth of Dr. Fauci, basically.
Well, at first I think, we didn't know what we were dealing with, so fear was kind of driving it. We just didn't know what we were dealing with.
Yeah.
So to be cautious, we were locking down and blah, blah, blah. And then it became political, and then it really blew up into really nothing.
All right.
Okay.
What else you got?
All right. Let's do some would you rather questions.
Oh, okay.
He hates these, but I think they're fun. I think they're just fun because they make you think about crazy, unusual situations.
To me, it's like, it's so hypothetical. Nothing like this would ever.
Well, okay. Let's take this one, for instance. I mean, you never know. This could happen. Okay. Would you rather the aliens that make first contact be robotic or organic? Okay. First of all, what does that mean exactly? Like robots. Okay. Organic, like human beings, like a being
Human.
like that you could kill, basically.
Yeah.
So would you rather have robots or
I think organic. Because, I mean, if it was a robot, then you'd think, well, who made the robot? There must be some kind of organic, intelligent life out there.
That's true. And robotic would be harder to destroy. Like if they turned out to be evil or something, that would be harder to destroy than organic.
Yeah.
Would you rather lose the ability to read or lose the ability to speak?
I pretty much lost both of those already, so probably speak.
Which one do you think I would choose?
Speak, because you could still, can you still write? I mean, you could still type something out, Okay, you would say speak.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. That's actually a really good point, Kevin. You can learn sign language. You could type something down. You could write something down.
The question should be read or communicate.
Yeah, true. That's true. That would probably be a better.
That didn't bother me. I can't communicate
but
anyway.
Like Helen Keller still found ways to communicate, even though she was blind and deaf.
Yeah.
Would you rather have a golden voice or a silver tongue?
Probably a silver tongue.
I'm kind of surprised I really thought you'd say a voice because you always, he likes to think he can sing. So
I never said I could sing. I'm looking for a singer, by the way. But I sing just so we can
I know. I'm totally teasing you. I think it's great that you're doing it, dude. Whatever. I think it's awesome.
But a silver tongue, just to be able to make your arguments and, articulate your points, which is, it really is really difficult.
100%. Yes, I'd rather have a silver tongue because, speaking of that, I think people need to be taught how to debate and have a conversation.
If there's anything I wish I could go back and do, it would be like take debate class in high school.
Yes.
Because
for sure.
Usually I just would like to crawl under a rock when I'm, talking to somebody.
Well, I mean, it takes a lot of skill to think quickly and be articulate and.
I think of the answer to a question like at 3:00 in the morning after the situation.
Even if you have the questions beforehand?
Yeah.
Okay. This is kind of a silly one. This is kind of goes into what Kevin was saying about how he doesn't really like these.
This is a silly one?
No, this is a silly one compared to the other ones. They were serious. Come on. Okay. All right. Would you rather be covered in fur or covered in scales?
Fur.
I think I might choose scales.
Why?
Well, because I'd get too hot in fur.
Scales would be too cold.
Well, then you can just go in the water. Okay. Let's do a couple more. Would you rather be in jail for a year or lose a year off your life?
Lose a year off your life. I think jail would be like the worst thing.
For just a year, though.
I think it would be the worst thing that could happen to you.
But if you think about it, if you're in jail, aren't you basically losing a year of your life?
Yeah.
Because you don't get to go out and do what you want.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah, it is kind of the same thing.
But being in jail would be like torture, don't you think? It'd be like you could just look out the window and see people outside doing things. It's like, man, I wish I was outside washing my car or whatever.
I think I would rather be in jail than lose a year off my life because in jail I could read, I could write, I could do all my solitary.
Yeah.
Because I'm okay being by myself. In fact, I prefer it. I prefer to be by myself. So I don't know. I mean, as long as there's no funny business going on in jail or I'm not being abused or anything like that, then
I wouldn't.
I don't know. Okay, I know what you're going to say on this one. Would you rather always be 10 minutes late or always be 20 minutes early?
20 minutes early.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's.
I hate people that are late all the time.
Well, it's rude. I'm sorry,
if you can't
but
trust
it is.
people with time, you just can't trust them with anything.
Well, it's not just that, but you're not respecting the time of the people that are waiting for you.
That is very rude.
It is. It is rude. Time is very important.
Ooh, it's raining.
Is it? Oh, good. We probably need some rain. How about, would you rather know the history of every object you touched or be able to talk to animals? Let's think about this for a second.
The history of every object you touched?
Right. Like if you were to...
Talk to animals.
What?
Talk to animals.
I am shocked. I'm shocked by that answer. I really thought you'd want the history behind every object. Because think of all the things that you treasure hunt.
Yeah,
there would be quite the history
true.
on some of the stuff that you
get.
get.
Actually, a lot of old things that I've found, and it would be nice to know. Like I've got this radio, this really old radio that it has the radio station call signs next to these buttons on the radio, and I looked up the call signs for the stations, and they're like California stations. So that radio has been in California.
See?
Yeah, so that would be interesting to know. And it's from like the 40s. No, it's actually from the 30s.
See, I feel like you would love that.
So it'd be interesting to know what family, were they listening to that when the...
think of the stories these items could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
So, yeah, I think I would rather do that than talk to animals because, one, I'm not an animal lover and I don't really care. And plus, they're animals. They have, like, the brain size of a pea. So what are they going to tell you exactly? Oh, I was hungry 10 minutes ago, and now I'm hungry again. What are they going to say? I don't know. This seems kind of silly. Okay, one more. Would you rather be married to a 10 with a bad personality or a 6 with an amazing personality? Answer carefully.
6.
That's what I thought you'd say. I mean, who wants to be married to a good-looking person that is boring? I mean, that'd be boring. It's like I can only stand to look at you for so long,
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have a conversation. All right.
That's right.
Okay. So one more thing. How was your week?
My week was great. How was your week?
My week was a little challenging. We got a lot of challenges at work this week and, talking to the boss and trying to work things out. So I'm hopeful that things will get better, but it was a little rough at work. So you had a pretty good week?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Today I fixed my windshield washer lines on my truck,
I think it's great that you can do that. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
people cannot do that.
and I fixed our landscaping lights, and also I put in a video doorbell.
Haha.
So
I was hoping you'd bring
so-
that up because we have one on our house across the street. It's our rental house that our my uncle-in-law with special needs lives over there, so we can keep an eye on him. So it's great because our houses face each other. So we can see from ours what's going on over there and vice versa. So if one of the cameras go down, we can still kind of see what's going on. I'm kind of excited to keep track of who's at the door. I have a nurse I
Yeah.
work with that sometimes her phone will go off and she'll all of a sudden she'll goes, "Hi, how can I help you?"
It's one of those things, though. It's almost like,
And they must be like,
do
"Oh,
you really
hi."
need to know who's at your front door every second?
Well, I think nowadays,
when
yes.
when the UPS man drops something
Yeah,
off,
but
or the
whoa,
mailman
whoa,
goes
whoa,
by.
whoa, whoa. But there are so many people that steal packages off porches nowadays, though. I think
Yeah,
I
but
think it's almost smart.
They never catch anybody from these videos.
Oh,
you
I
think,
disagreed.
really?
I mean, you're getting a picture of their face.
Yeah.
You can see who they are. Which, by the way, can you keep track of those videos? Like, can you save them?
Yes, it actually uploads to the internet.
Oh,
Every time
Great.
there's a motion detection
like a
event.
cloud or
Yeah.
just...
Yeah, you have to pay for it, but
That's what I thought.
But-
But that's, I mean,
yeah,
that's
it
cool.
does. It does save it,
That's
and it
cool.
also saves on a SD card in the actual unit itself. So
Nice.
for sure.
Nice. Well, that's good. I'm glad we've got it. I feel safer now.
Yeah,
Just-
it's great until the motion detection goes off like at 2:00 in the morning. It's like, what is that?
I know. I do not want that on my phone,
And
please.
it turned out it was just like a big truck went by. That's what I really need to know, is a big truck going by at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah, that would not be fun. But, oh well. All right. Well, that's really all I have this week. How about you?
That's it.
All right. Well, don't forget to watch us on YouTube and Rumble. We videotape ourselves.
Yeah, we got the VCR going right now. That joke might be getting old.
Well, for all the ones out there that are new that don't know, I mean filming. Hey, we're old. What can I say?
What is the popular? I mean,
I think it's filming. I
Filming's
think-
not right either, because it's not.
No,
film.
I think it's film. I think
Is it
people
film?
say film. Like YouTubers will say, "I'm going to."
We'll have to
Have to
research
film.
that one and get back to you. I don't think it's film. I don't think
We
it's. I
we
don't
don't
think
know
it's
what the latest
videotape.
slang
It's just
is.
videoing.
Maybe. I don't know. Oh, well. Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. We appreciate your time,
Thanks for watching.
and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.